Hey guys, it's Yarnable here, and welcome to my collaboration with Yasmin3577. I found another very good YouTube artist. I'm gonna put the link to her channel in the description below. She mostly does digital paintings, digital speed paints, and I think she has a contest going on right now, so if you want to check that out, go to her channel. And so this is the color. She drew, this is the drawing. She drew the picture and then she sent me an email of it, and then I printed it and then I inked it with my tracing pad, and now I'm coloring it. And I used E04 for the darkest shade, which I usually don't do that, but I decided to change things up a bit, and so I used E04, and at first it looks really darkish, but I blend it out later. And then I used R20 for the blushies, and for other colors I used E00, E000, and R01. And for the hair, I was going to go with this shiny type of technique for the hair, and then I changed my mind to strandiness technique, and I'm using the colors E57, E59, and I'm pretty sure the last one was E29. I don't know why I don't remember. I swore I used E29. Like, I don't know what's going on with me, but I guess I used E57. Huh. Okay. And I used the lightest color, which is E57, to go over the strands of the hair. And then I used a darker color, which was E59, to sort of darken those areas where I colored with E57. I don't cover the whole thing with the E59. I only color like a little bit of it, just the thin strips, thin bits of it. Oh yeah, sorry. So, again, the YouTuber's name was Yasmin3577. So finally got a collaboration done, hurrah. And I'm using, I think this is E29 for the darkest shades of the hair. And it's darker than E59, so I'm coloring even less to make it a bit more accented, or whatever you want to call it. I really like this hair technique now. I think I'm going to use a lot more often. Of course, it takes more thinking and a bit more time than the shininess technique. Because for shininess, you just have to flick your marker up and down. But then for the strandiness, you actually have to like figure out like, oh, where should I put this strand, or where should I put the other one? And as you can see, I left some areas white, and I did that for the highlights of the hair. And then I took a gel pen to go over it again, so it's a bit more distinct. Yeah, and then I used R20 and R22 for the mouth, and Cool Gray 1 for the teeth. And then I had to skip the coloring of the eyes because I had to lean in forward and my head just sort of covered the camera. So I went with, so I just had to skip it. But I went with BG09 and BG07, BG05, and BG02. And for the pink, I'm using R81 and R83. I know, it's just two colors, but I only had those two colors in the family, so I could only use those. And I used the technique that I used when I used to have only 10 markers, because when I had 10 markers, I could only use about 2 markers for each blending family, so it turned out pretty well, I think. Alright, now for the blues, I used B000, B00, B02, and B04, and a little bit of B05. I only used that in the end. But the thing I did different with this is I actually went from light to dark when blending them. I went from B00, and then B02, and then B04, and then B000 at the end. It's actually, I used to do this technique, but then I usually go from darkest to lightest. I just decided to change things up and see what the result would look like, and it actually turned out really well. I think I'm going to use this technique more often. Except here I kind of messed up and I accidentally went to B05 and it got really dark, so I had to fix it up again. But yeah, so I'm going with B00, and then I go over everything with B000. And then because the bottom part got so dark, I had to go back to the top and make it darker too, with B05 again. And then this is an EV in her arms, and I decided to use E25, E27, and E29 for her the fur. And Evie's actually her actual fur is more orangish than this one, but this is closest, so I just used it. So yeah, I finally got a collaboration done. Oh, for the insides of the ears, I used E79 and E77, and for like the yellow part, I used E51 and E50. And then my gel pen got all stupid, so I had to use the paint thing, the opaque paint. And the good thing about the paint is if you mess up on it, you could just rub it out and it sort of goes away, so it's really handy. So this is the end of the collaboration, and this is the finished picture, and I hope you guys liked this video. Please go check out Yasmin3577, and thank you for watching.